eat all he is in need of, but he should not make them part of his diet permanently, notwithstanding that they are better than all the fruits of the trees. So Maimonides liked figs, almonds. Grapes are not trees, but nevertheless.
Did someone come after and not correct this?
No, but add on to it, the answer is yes, and we'll take a look at that when we get to the codes.
Okay, I was
Okay.
curious.
Honey and wine are bad for the young, but good for the old. God bless America. Particularly in the rainy season. Because it keeps you warm.
Oh.
A man needs during the summer season but 2/3 of the food he consumes during the rainy season. Which is the opposite of what we teach today. We're saying you need to eat more during the summer season because you're running around more. You're not homebound. Versus the winter season, you should eat less because you are homebound. But if you're out doing stuff, then it should be no different whether it's summer or rainy. Okay? Man should ever endeavor to have his bowels soft, near a bit to looseness. Here's the general rule in medicine. As long as there's either complete constipation or the voiding comes with great effort, it is a warning of impending serious ailment. So in other words, your grandmother was not wrong that would say, are you having a good bowel movement? Because if you didn't, it meant something was bad. Okay? What with shall man cure his bowels if they be somewhat constipated? If he be young, he shall eat every morning salted things, scalded, spiced with olive oil, brine and salt, but without bread. Or drink hot extract of spinach, or of carob, which you can't eat, but mixed with olive oil, brine and salt. If he be old, he should drink in the morning honey and warm water, and wait about 4 hours, then he may eat his breakfast. This way he shall continue 1 day, or needed 3 or 4 days, until his bowels will become soft. And yet another rule was laid down. With respect to the health of the body, as long as a man works and tires himself out to the extreme, and does not eat to its full satiety, and his bowels are soft, no ailment will visit him. And his strength will increase, even though he partakes of foods which are considered bad, simply by the reason he's working, therefore he's flushing his system out. But whoever sits idle and takes no exercise, or watches television, I'm sorry, it's not there, I'm teasing you, or who withholds elimination of his bowel. Why anybody withhold them? Okay. Or whose bowels are constipated, even though he will eat only good food and keep himself up after the prescribed medical rules, he will suffer pain all his life, and his strength will fade away. Ravenous eating is as deadly to the body of every man as poison, and is the base of all sickness. For most of the diseases which visit man are not possible save either because of bad food, or because he fills up his bowels with overmuch food, even though the food be of good quality. So most of Maimonides' rule of medicine has nothing to do with viruses or with microbes or anything like that.
Don't overeat.
Right? It has to do with food and bowels.
So today he would be a doctor that specializes in, what do you call it?
Gastroenterologist.
Gastroenterologist, or he may be a homeopathic intestinal.
Because nothing is mentioned throughout these readings about the heart.
Nope. Not at all. It's all about the stomach.
He was kind of stuck lower down.
Lower down, right.
No, but it's the stomach.
Yes.
And keeping in mind, heart in this literature
Yes.
and brain tend to be synonymous.
Right.
It's the organism which functions the body to operate. But the heart is being fulfilled if you're 3/4 full. The heart is being fulfilled in that sense. But they're not talking about health of the heart. You're absolutely correct about that. Okay?
But he talked about exercise.
Exercise, but again, he's not talking about the heart as that organism. Right?
Just move the bowels.
So concerning this, the quality of the food, concerning this, Solomon in his wisdom said, who guards his mouth and his tongue guards his soul against distresses. In other words, most of Maimonides is basing his medical knowledge, or medical directive, based on what Solomon, who's considered to be the author of the book of Psalms and Proverbs, is that in Proverbs, one who guards one's mouth and their tongue guards their soul against distresses. Now, what it means in the text is your speech. He's meaning it with your food intake. If you guard what goes in, you'll eliminate any possible distress. And then he gives you that meaning. The one who guards one's mouth against bad food and ravenous eating, their tongue from speaking aught but of the things he needs, guards his soul against distresses. And that's that. Okay? That's all I have today. So,
Our next meeting is
next meeting is, not next week. I already told you that. So, next class is Sunday, November
4th.
4th. Does that sound right? Yeah, Sunday, November 4th.